Welcome to the Live Your Adventure podcast, a place for stories, ideas, and conversations that challenge you to live with intention and create an adventure that's truly your own. Let's go. Hello. We're here for another episode of the Live Your Adventure podcast. I'm your host, Steve Hand, and we're back here in the Nickerson Farm kitchen with Steven. Steven's my oldest son. We had to figure it out early on. We're not senior, junior, different middle name, and we had to figure it out early on. So I became Steven. I became Steve. He became Steven. So welcome.
Happy to be here.
Cool. So in season 1, as you know, we're talking about choosing your adventure. It's part of a 12-episode season, and then we're going to take a break, and we're going to do another season coming up later in the year. In this episode today, we're going to be talking about adventure as a decision. And if you've seen our earlier stuff, you know that's really one of the key things is that people need to decide to choose adventure, because otherwise you live in comfort, and comfort is the enemy. Is the way I like to talk about it. I think with that, let me see if I had some notes here I wanted to cover. I guess I didn't. Steven, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, what you're doing nowadays, etc., and then we'll dig into some other stuff.
Miss Amy is my mom, episode 1. Dad, and then I don't know, I guess my whole life growing up was hockey, and was incredibly supported in that as a coach, and mom was the ultimate fan base. And then as I got older, realized I went from being a really good player for Maine to wow, I'm really not that good in the grand scheme of things. So kind of pivoted to, well, if hockey's not going to be a career, what will be? And I knew I loved the outdoors. And I had hunted a little bit and always loved fishing, but could have never imagined where it's taken me now. So since then, Dad helped me find an internship, and then went on my first moose hunt. Dad and I went to Illinois film school, which ironically now Zach does full time. So I'm better in front of the camera than behind the camera, and Zach would say I'm not good in front of the camera either. But from there, I just knew I wanted to do something in the outdoors. Started working at Maine Sport. I've been there. This is my 13th year there. Started retail and then became a Maine guide. Started guiding all summer long. Did that for 2014 through 2019. So 5 years of that, where I was full-time guide in the summers and then just worked retail in the winters. And then 2019, I became the assistant director. And then 2020, COVID happened, and I got hey, you think you can handle this? I was like, sure. 6 years later, I'm still the programs director, and added a few more licenses, and since then started my own business, guiding fishing and hunting trips, and have really made my career the outdoors and helping people enjoy the outdoors, and am blessed every day to be able to do it.
Cool. So part of the place I'm starting off with everybody is think about an adventure, throw anything out there, some adventure maybe that we've been on, or maybe some other adventure you've been on. What just comes first to mind when you think about a fun adventure or a crazy adventure or a scary adventure?
Probably first, somebody says adventure, first thing that comes to mind is the road trip that Zach and I took across the country and fly fish Montana for 4 days and stayed on the side of the river, and then went down to Wyoming and shot an antelope with my bow. Just doing that all with Zach, with my truck and the rooftop tent. And that was, crazy, super special. With you specifically, probably always is when you shot the first buck here at the farm, when Zach and I were sitting on the ground below you and watching you hit the bleat can, and it just came running in out of nowhere. And I mean, we were all still pretty new to hunting and probably did way more things wrong than right back then, but it worked, and that was, I'll always remember that as
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, some of the things I remember early on, I came home one day and there's a bucket, and you guys were ecstatic, and in the bucket were trout from across the street that you guys had caught with your bare hands and lugged home. I'm like, this might not quite be legal. You ran back across the street with them.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. We were trying to convince you guys to let us keep them in a fish tank.
Despite the hockey, the hockey was awesome. We were involved with hockey for so many years, and it was an amazing sport. And I wouldn't trade any of those years in. But some of the other things I remember is getting called up regarding. I think it was a skunk that was squaring off against our dog in the backyard. And what did you end up doing?
I got home from school, and normally Savvy would run around the house, and she didn't. So I was like worried, and I could hear like barking and stuff. So I went inside, went out back, and all I could see was Savvy like pulling the end of her lead, but she was like off towards the ditch, like the little creek that ran through the back. She's growling, and she never did that ever. And I started walking to it, and she moved, and there was a skunk like right next to her squaring up. And I ran inside, didn't have the combo for the gun case, but I did have access to my bow. So I was able to pull Savvy away, get her back, and then I shot the skunk with my bow. And I remember I think I tried to call you, and then I called Mom. One of you guys called the police department, and how it, like the bad game of telephone, ended up sending I don't remember if it was a game warden or...
It was a game warden.
Yeah, came out.
It was Michelle.
When they got there, they were like... How it got across, I think, was she was basically told, oh, this kid shot a skunk and called it in. And she came in and was like, oh, it's illegal. Like, it's out of season. Like, you can't just shoot skunks. And I was like, whoa. That is not what happened. Like, she was fighting my dog. Like, I don't check my dog, like all this. And I don't know if we ever heard back. They said they sent it to the UMaine or something, right, to check if it was rabid. But it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, and skunk was...
We never did hear back, but... Michelle, it was a local game warden, her and her husband, Mark, the Merrifields.
Yeah.
And Michelle joked with me afterwards one time. It was like, yeah, I had him going pretty good. And I was like, this is illegal this time of year. It's not skunk season. But she got a laugh out of it. So you have, this whole topic's about adventure as a decision. And you definitely have chosen a life of adventure for your career, for what you focus on every day. And so talk a little bit about what it's like to take people out on an adventure.
I mean, fishing is probably one of my favorite things to do. I know so many people were adamant that I was never going to go anywhere with guiding, and it was never going to make a career in it. And I've definitely taken a different route where, like, my guiding business is a side gig and I work for a bigger outfitter. It's a different involvement, but being able to take people out, and like an example I always use is like whether it's a kayaking trip or a fishing trip, like here on the coast of Maine, seeing a bald eagle is a daily occurrence in the summer. Like I just overlook it and it's, oh yeah, it's just like a robin or like pigeons in New York. Maybe not that big, but so seeing a bald eagle for me, it's just like, oh yeah, sweet, bald eagle, yay. But for a lot of people that come to Maine for their vacation and see a bald eagle, it's like incredible. It's like an amazing experience for them. So I think a huge thing that in my early 20s had to like realize is like kind of taking a step back and joining in on clients' excitement. Like something for me, like, I mean, I see an eagle and paddle amongst sailboats and $1 million yacht or multi-million dollar yachts and past lighthouses and see really cool birds and like dolphin or porpoises and stuff like that. And for me, it's just another day at the job, and to try and enjoy, like take a step back and like participate in that like awe and wonder and like the excitement of something new. And it's like, it's hard to describe. It's really special to be a part of, and like people's first fish, like that's amazing to me. And a couple years ago, like striper fishing, like we had a year where we were catching tons of like upper 30s, low 40-inch stripers. And then I had to catch myself like partway through the summer where somebody caught like a 26-inch striper. And to me, I was just like, oh, just throw it back. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is a tiny fish. And they were like, oh my God, this is the biggest fish I've ever caught. Like, this is, and I had to take a step back again and be like, wow, like I helped them do that. And like, for me, it was just a small striper, but for them, it was the biggest fish they've ever caught. And
one of the focuses of Live Your Adventure is really all about everybody's adventure is different.
Yeah.
And understanding that what one person has experienced oftentimes is nowhere near what another person has experienced. Yeah. But it doesn't take away from it.
No.
It may feel, that was nothing that significant, but to the next person, it's a huge milestone. I use the example of some people adventure is climbing Everest, and other people it's walking down the street. It could be that severe a difference is what does that. So you became a Maine guide. You're now a master Maine guide, which you're one of the youngest people. I mean, basically the day you turned 18, you became a guide. So and people revere the Maine guide around the country. There's some states that don't have any guide programs at all. There's other states that have lots of regulations. Maine is pretty well regulated overall. What's it like to be a Maine guide? What's the I know it's a passion, but to talk about that a little bit.
I mean, it's super special to me to like be able to be a part of people's adventures and help them succeed in something that, I mean, when somebody hires a guide, it's kind of them saying that they need help in achieving a goal, or they need help doing this, or they're paying for your expertise on a subject. So being able to like, people put their trust in me, and being able to go above and beyond and have spectacular trips and get good reviews and be a part of those adventures. I always feel bad where like guiding kayaking trips, all those years where I would do, 600-700 people in a summer, and they'd come back the next summer and somebody would be like, oh my God, like, hi, Steven, like, you made our whole vacation last year. And to me, it was like, I didn't remember them. It was just 2 other people I had out of 30 people I guided that day. So that is a testament to like what it is being a Maine guide. Like you're really providing that experience and something that people take back, and that's extremely special to them. And becoming a Mastermain guide, like if you had asked me 15 years ago if like that was ever going to be a possibility, I would have, oh geez, maybe when I'm in my 40s or 50s. And when I was 29, or 28 actually, I got my first. So 10 years and lots and lots and lots of hours. And I'm extremely proud and honored to have the licenses, and definitely don't take it lightly. And
cool.
Yeah.
So what's the hardest situation? And you've been out on the ocean with people. You've been in your boat on the ocean. You've been out hunting. You've had young people, old people, all over the map. So what's a difficult situation you've been in guiding?
Ooh, I could go so many different ways.
Yeah, pick one.
Geez. Like when people kayaking trips, if people aren't honest, which, I mean, we get it so often of people portray that they're, I mean, I get it with fishing trips too. People portray that they're amazing fishermen and they do it so much and they kind of brag themselves up, and then they get on the boat and you're like, you don't even know how to cast a rod. Like I don't know. And then like a kayaking trip one, like somebody didn't disclose some medical information and they started dropping their paddle because they had, I think it's called Raynaud's.
Yeah.
And they just lost complete dexterity of their hands. And it was, I mean, an 80-degree day with probably 65, 68-degree water. But it was cold enough that they lost complete dexterity of their hands and they couldn't hold their paddle. So, and I had 8 other people on the trip that I had to figure out a way to accommodate everyone. I think probably the hardest like daily occurrence, especially on kayaking trips, is when you have multiple groups, you find a way to try to figure out a good way to put it, but like cater to the least common denominator. Like if there's a group that's paddling a lot slower than the rest of the group, like you kind of have to find a way to not take away from the rest of the people's adventure, but keep the group all together. Or you're always going 10 different directions. You could run the same tour 100 times and it's never going to be the same tour. There's always different personalities, different people, different winds. The tide is different boat traffic, like every single, and that's part of why I absolutely love it is, I mean, I could never see myself sitting in an office and doing the exact same thing every single day. I mean, I sit in an office a lot nowadays, but I'm never doing this. Every single day is different. And when I'm on the water and actually guiding, they're like, no trip is ever the same. Cool.
So I'm gonna go backwards now, back to some other adventures in the family. Think of something on the hockey side of things. And we did a lot in hockey over the years. We tried to do some trips with hockey. We did some tournaments, but and you were more than just. I mean, you played for a lot of years. You became a referee. Which was an interesting adventure of sorts. But share with us something about the hockey times that you had, and you're still playing hockey today.
Yeah,
some too. But how has hockey been part of the adventure for you?
I think like the biggest aspect is the team aspect, and like how that's shaped me. I guess as like a leader in like my work life, and being like a team member, and then, I mean, my first teaching roles where, I mean, you and Mom are both really good teachers in different aspects and stuff, but like coaching Russo's, and
I forgot all about that.
Absolutely like loving being a part of, like, I always say it with fishing and kayaking and hockey as well. Like when you're part of people's aha moment, like when you find a way, they're struggling with something, and you can you watch them and you figure out how you're going to, like, everyone has different learning styles, everyone has different teaching styles, and trying to think quick and learn how something's best going to get across to somebody. And then you get across and they do that one thing that makes everything click, and you watch them just light up and they have that aha moment.
That is always a cool experience. Yeah. We had a cool. His name's come up a couple times in the other episodes, and I'm leaving here tomorrow morning to head off and teach a class with Tom Petrie at his school, where you went years and years ago, and Zachary went as well. But talk a little bit about the moose hunt we did with Tom a few years ago. It was pretty crazy, and I know you were fighting off. You were pretty sick the entire week.
Yeah, I was.
But what was? I know it was pretty special for me. But what was that week like?
I mean, like, just being able to be in the woods with you and Zach, like, I'll never forget that. And it, like, goes back to that deer hunt where, I mean, we've hunted and fished the larger part of my life, and I haven't truly experienced, I don't think I'll ever experience something like that again. Hopefully, I mean, I'd love to, but I mean, there's 3 instances of, like, being able to, like, experience success in the field with you and Zach. And that's that moose hunt, turkey hunts, only 1 or 2 that we were actually all 3 there and successful. And then the deer hunt here at the farm. I was sick as a dog on that moose hunt. Thought I was going to lose my lung after making that call when he killed the bull. And, I mean, I pushed through on that. I never once thought about giving up, but I mean, there were definitely times where I was just, I don't know how I'm gonna get this done. Like, I don't want to let everyone down. But just how it all came together with you and Scott and Tom and Zach and everyone there. And, yeah, I'll never forget that. And every year when I go up to guide moose hunt, I'll listen to the podcast we did with Tom.
Oh yeah.
Just to kind of get me in that zone, that headspace. And, yeah, and that was 2022, I think. So yeah. I've had 3 seasons since then.
Cool. Another one I think of, we did a road trip one year all the way to Louisiana. And I know what I remember the most, and it wasn't even the hunting, but we went to see a friend, Gary, down in Louisiana. And that was another one where it was you, Zach, and I together. But what do you remember from that trip?
Being a terrible shot. Water moccasins.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a really bad shot.
I know what I remember. It was the crawfish boil.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean,
we went like 5 out of 7 days we were there or whatever. The crawfish every year.
Yeah, we brought back the recipe to have one here as well.
From Zane's.
Yes, that was his name, Zane. So all of that, though, is about making decisions to go and do things, go and have an adventure. A lot of these we've been talking about are hunting and fishing, and for anybody out there, it could be anything else. So you've also talked a lot about paddling and stuff, which is really cool. You mentioned Maine Sport, which is an interesting one. I started working at Maine Sport in 1984, and I was thinking about it the other day. I think between me working there, your mother working there, you, Zachary, and then in between being employee, I actually did contract work there. I think for 42 years, there's been somebody from our family that's worked there in some capacity, almost nonstop.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I mean, this year, 2026 is the 50th year the store's been open. So to think that, I mean, it's 82 or like what, 84% of how long the store's been open.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So you made another decision in the last few years. You made a decision to become a husband.
Yeah.
And you made a decision to become a father.
Yeah.
That's a new adventure. I know I've been there for many years, but talk to us about this new adventure. Either part of having a wife, or I know what we all think about is having a kid. But talk to us a little bit about what it's like for that new adventure.
I mean, like, I knew Ellie was special when we first started hanging out, but I had decided for myself, I mean, this is going back 8 years, but I decided for myself that I was done, like, messing around with girls that didn't like see the same way I did. And I just made the decision, I'm going to hunt, I'm going to fish. I'm kind of a workaholic, and that's how I presented it to Ellie at the beginning. And when we first started hanging out, I said, like, hey, I hunt, I fish, and I work a lot. And if you're not okay with that, it's not going to work. And we hung out for a month. She never really said anything about it. And then I said, hey, I'm going to Ohio for a month to guide turkey hunts. And yeah. And I thought she was never going to talk to me again. And when I got back, we talked a little bit while I was in Ohio. And when I got back, hey, you want to hang out? And she was like, yeah, definitely. And I made her my girlfriend that first time we got back. And now we have been together for 7 years now, 2019. Yeah, 7 years, and been married for almost 3 years now. And now we have a 14-month-old son, and the best thing to ever happen to me. I mean, I've had amazing things happen throughout my life. I consider myself very blessed and have incredible support from my family, really good friends. And, but I mean, I've always wanted to be a dad like that. I always knew that. I mean, that's what I was put on this earth to be. And there's a lot of other things that I have done. And, but it's definitely an adventure, and one that I'm loving every single step, for sure.
Cool. And another big decision and another big adventure. I mean, you're going to have lots of adventures with your boy over the next lots of years, just like we have. But and I'm looking forward to those adventures for me too. All the trouble I can get him in and hand him back. But you're making plans for what I would consider as another major adventure. I know Miss Amy and I look at the farm as a major adventure in renovating this place, but building a house.
Yeah, Ellie and I are finalizing our material list tomorrow, so hopefully get a quote on that, and met with the contractor last week. We staked out where we think the house will be, and hopefully breaking ground in the next couple of months. And that's proved to already be quite the adventure, and we haven't even broken ground yet. So one I'm ready for. Hopefully only do it once, and it'll be our forever home. We absolutely love where we live, and I hope everything goes smoothly.
Yeah. Adventure. I mean, the key to all this is, I mean, sometimes adventure is just fun and easy and cool, and other times it is tough. And you make the decision to get through those tough times, to make those tough decisions, to commit yourself to responsibility or whatever it may be.
Goes to type 1 and type 2 fun, or FUN and PHUN. I use that all the time at work. fun, Fun, or type 1 fun is in the moment, you're smiling and it's awesome and you love it. And type 2 fun is, or PHUN, is in the moment, you're hating everything and it's brutal, it's pouring rain, you're uncomfortable, you're stressed, you're scared, but looking back at it, it's like, oh my God, that was incredible. Like, that was amazing. And I bring that up a lot at work, and I try to live by that. Like, or anytime I get in a uncomfortable situation, or I just tell myself, like, it's type 2 fun. You're going to look back at this, you're going to love it. Like, type 2 fun. Like,
Cool. So you referenced it a little while ago, but you've started your own business.
yeah.
It's a side hustle, but it keeps you pretty busy.
Yeah.
And it comes with its own challenges and its own rewards. But tell us a little bit about Flood Tide Outfitters.
Yeah, I started it as, well, I mean, you always talked about like the benefits of having your own business and the tax breaks and stuff. And then, I mean, I said it a little bit before, I'm kind of a workaholic, and I've found things that I'm passionate in. So, I mean, I get to tell people I get paid to go fishing and hunting and paddling. And I used to love that when I was in my early 20s, go to the bar and somebody would see you and say, oh, hey, what do you do? And I was like, oh, yeah, like, people kayaking in the harbor and stuff. And they'd be like, yeah, definitely. I'd be like, yeah, that's what I get paid to do. It's pretty cool. And everyone would be, oh, that's what I get to do on my days off. And you get paid for that. But yeah, so I've had Flood Tide this will be the third year. Yeah.
This will be the third year.
Third year with Flood Tide. And I mean, it's growing. Maybe someday it'll be my full-time gig. And I don't plan on that anytime soon, but it's been really special. I had 2 boats last year. I sold one of my boats. I bought a bigger truck, and just being able to having repeat clients, like just the friendships you make, and people arrive as a client, leave as a friend, and just the memories I make, and just being able to say I get paid to go beyond Penobscot Bay and catch fish and see tuna or porpoises, seals. Like, it's, I'm super blessed and
Cool.
forever grateful to be able to do that. And it's a lot of work that it's definitely not for everyone, but I love it.
Cool. We'll chat with folks in a minute here about how they can get a hold of you. But next episode, I'm meeting with Clifton Ames.
Oh, sweet. I actually have Cliff's boat.
Yeah, and so Clifton was a good friend of mine as a kid. And he's a master main guide. Yeah. He's been guiding for I don't know how many years, probably since he was just about your age.
I was going to say it's probably close to 50 years now.
Yeah, well, 45.
45.
Yeah. And we had a pretty special component there of I shot my first duck while hunting with Cliff. You shot your first duck while hunting with Cliff, and Zachary shot his first duck while hunting with Cliff. Yeah. And now today you're guiding with the boat that you bought from Cliff.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to sitting down with Cliff next week for another episode and talking about his perspective on adventure. And you've already shared some of the things I know he wants to chat about as well. So we're going to start wrapping up here. We're trying to keep these episodes pretty short and sweet. One of the things we're doing is talking about a quote each week. The quote for today is from an author. I do not know this author, but his name is William Feather. And the quote is, "One way to get the most out of life is to look upon it as an adventure." It's pretty succinct. It's pretty much exactly what we're talking about, is to get out there, and life is better if we think about living it as an adventure. If we sit back and get stagnant, I'll use one of Masami's words. If we rest on our laurels, if we don't get out there and do the things that interest us, life isn't as fun. That's definitely what I'm always thinking about. So if people are coming to Maine, or they're here in Maine and they want to get out fishing in mid-coast Maine or some other sort of adventure, and they want to get a hold of Flood Tide, how do they reach out to you?
You can check out my website. It's floodtideoutfitters.com. Facebook, Instagram has contact info and everything on there, and would love to get out fishing or hunting, and if anyone just wants to call and talk fishing or anything, I'm always will talk fishing or hunting or anything like that. So
cool. And it would probably be fair to say too, if people are looking for biking or different hikes, different kayaking trips and stuff, I mean, they probably should reach out to Maine Sport Outfitters.
Yeah, Maine Sport Outfitters. We have kayak, canoe, both. I mean, sea kayaks, lake kayaks, paddleboards, canoes. We do trips all over freshwater, saltwater. Reach out. You'll probably talk to me there as well, and it's another adventure.
Yeah. Well, this if you're out there listening and you want to come hang out in an area that's full of opportunity for adventure, this little area of heaven called Mid-Coast Maine is a great place for it. So that's going to wrap it up for this week. I think the goal here was to really talk about adventure, making it a decision. And Stephen, in my mind, has definitely made succinct decisions to experience adventure, to live adventure, be it your life, your career, and the things we're choosing now. You're not going the easy route. You're going the adventurous route. And I'm not going to call it the hard route. And last week, the episode with Scott, we talked about when the adventure gets real. Originally it was titled When the Adventure Gets Hard. And it really wasn't about when it gets hard. It's about when it gets real. And so that's why I don't want to call the decisions you're making the hard decisions. They're the real decisions. It's not the easy route.
So definitely haven't taken the easy route.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you all for listening to the Hand Adventures Live Your Adventure podcast. And we'll be back next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Live Your Adventure podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe button, follow us on social media at Hand Adventures, and for your next adventure, define it, pursue it, and live it.